Last week I posted a video where I tried to make Drytron a meta-relevant deck. And well, I succeeded. The deck has proven that it is still good, and honestly it is so much fun to pilot. However, some of you might have noticed that the deck costs more than $100. Now while this is still considered cheap by Yu-Gi-Oh standards, it is still a lot more than the budget-orientated are prepared to spend. So powered by pure autism, I challenged myself into building a $50 Drytron deck that can keep up with the big boys. And well, this was the result. So looking at the list, not a lot has changed. Drytron has always been a deck that doesn't have a lot of non-engine space, so the ratios of what you see are mostly the same. You will however notice that I have cut all the hand traps except Duel in favor of ward breakers. The idea here is that we don't really have a lot of space for hand traps, so we want to maximize the value on the cards that we do see in our hand. Lava Golem and Seer Mode are incredible into Vanquish Soul and put a lot of work against basically every deck that isn't Mitsurugi exactly. We don't have the budget for Droplet and Thrust, but you'd be surprised at how much these cards can accomplish alone. For similar reasons, we're playing the Machine Kaiju, which is both removal and ritual material. It also has a lot of attack, which helps us put up lethal when we steal it with Anima. Not much has changed in the extra. You still need both Zeus and Anima when going second, but because they're both expensive, we unfortunately don't have the budget for SP. In the side deck, you'll notice a critical mass of going first options, because well, we're playing all the breakers in the main. Again, no budget for Thrust, but we can live with this. So with that out of the way, let's take a look at the replays. Okay, so I'm not entirely sure how I feel about the list. On the one hand, it doesn't feel too different from the one I showed last week. But on the other, it feels like you lose games you would have otherwise have won had you seen a Fua or a Roll instead of a Kaiju. That being said, for $50 you're not getting any better than this. The deck is good going first or second, being able to set up to 7 interrupts when going first and breaking through your opponent's boards with Engine alone. The deck can weave around Charmies, and rarely will you ever have to concede more than one draw. Fuko also means that you can survive draw while being able to turn skip them with Featherstorm post-sighting. Oh, and did I mention that this deck can run Skill Drain for no reason? That being said, I'm sad to say that with the advent of K9s, this deck's days are numbered.